What's good, guys? It's Sam here. And I think I found a real estate deal and I wanted to talk about that and hear your thoughts. I'm actually be super interested to hear if somebody else has had this experience before, because this is first time I'm going to be going through this. But with that being said, let's get into it. So, if you've been following the channel, I own one property in Florida, and I am looking to purchase at least one more property in 2019, hopefully 2 properties. I know a gentleman who owns a property that has, by the way, if this is your first time here, there's a little red button that says subscribe. You fucking better press that shit. And the bell notification. You better push that shit. Just gently, just tap on the screen and push that shit. Like, do it. I'll wait for you, but really, I'm not going to wait for you. Just do it. And so I know this gentleman. He's an older gentleman. He owns a property that he did a lease option on. So also, if there's anybody like a lawyer or who's had a lot of experience with getting out of these, I don't know if he knew exactly what he was getting into, but he did like a lease option with somebody who stopped paying. He's on a fixed income. He's 80 plus years old, doesn't have the income to foreclose on this lady, tried to cut a deal with a lawyer, meaning he'll pay him out of the equity of the property. Lawyer doesn't want to do that. Lawyer wants the money up front, because I'm sure every business owner does that to him, or a good portion of them do. So he's got a property worth around $250,000. I think it's $225,000 actually, $225,000. There's a tax lien on the property for $87,000. I checked the registry of deeds, and I checked with the city that it is in. It's in a good location, really close to a lot of different things, and he wants a partner on the deal to be able to foreclose on this lady, to be able to at least get something out of it. So I'm going to be meeting with him next week. I've been in chat and talks with him over the last several weeks, and I meant to actually do a video on this so I could walk you guys through the process. If you know somebody who's doing these things, it's perfectly possible. The creative deals are where you can get some really like win-win-win situations, you know, for him, for myself, and just overall, there's some really great opportunity. So the person stopped paying, according to him, several years ago. He believes he has around $110,000 note with her that the lawyer has, that I'm going to be checking out on early next week, hopefully, or mid next week. And then we're going to go from there. And how we might structure it tentatively is we could go a couple different ways. Turn around it into a partnership and rent it out and pay back the city, and then he's in his mid-80s, so if something were to happen to him, the property goes to me. Another way we might structure it is, because there's some social like net type benefits that he's getting in terms of like Medicare or whatever the case is, that he can't show a certain amount of assets underneath his name. So maybe just purchase the property from him buy his note and then foreclose on the property myself, but structure it in a way that allows, and I would pay him in like over the next several years or whatever the case is, so that way he has income coming in, but maybe structure it as in, I'm not sure how we would do that yet. I have some ideas, but I'm not trying to hypothetically use that as a under the table way of paying him, so that he doesn't have to come off of the Medicaid, because he doesn't have any family or any other like way to pay for things, and he's in his mid-80s, so like he owns he has the lease option and just can't do anything about it. You know what I mean? Like, he's stuck in that situation. And if he shows the income from the sale of the property, then he loses those benefits. You know, like, but he can't actually replace them with the amount of money that he would make off the property. And you're like, well, he owes $110,000. Well, I'm not going to purchase that from him for $110,000. I'm going to do 50 cents on the dollar or less or something like that. Property looks like it's in decent condition. And so if I was hypothetically going to do around 50 grand or 55,000 to 50 cents on the dollar, plus the $90,000 lien on the property, and then I'd have to take a look at the actual property before getting into any of this. And it's one of those gentlemen who, you may know people like this, whether it was your grandma or somebody else, who just, it's not necessarily in their best financial interest in the long term, but they want to deal with somebody that they trust. They want to do business with somebody that they trust, even if they could get a better deal or better opportunity somewhere else. So I actually tried to guide him in that direction for the first couple weeks of like speaking about it. And then he came back and proposed me with the idea. I didn't bring it up or anything. And he was like, hey, what about if we partnered on it or you purchased it? And that's where we've been for the last couple weeks. So I wanted to let you guys know, and I'm going to keep an eye out on and update you through this process. How much I pay, how it works with the tax lien, and just how you deal with a situation like this. There's lots of information out there on different kinds of things, but I haven't seen anybody document and walk through the process of figuring their shit out as they go along. So I wanted to do that, and hopefully if somebody else, or when somebody else comes across this similar situation, they can do something like that, and they can just follow these series of videos that are going to be coming out if this deal goes through and take care of it that way. But if you guys enjoy this video, or actually, if you have any insight or knowledge about some of these, how I would deal with any of this, or if you're a lawyer or anything like that, please leave a comment below or reach out to me on Instagram. I'd love to hear your thoughts. The link for Instagram is going to be in the description. So my concerns or my thoughts on this is, if this is a lease option, right, and the person stopped paying and just moved away, they could potentially be renting out this property, just not paying him, collecting the rent on it. So I could potentially have to go through the foreclosure with this person that he did a lease option with, and then also evict somebody. So it could be a lengthy process. So that's why I'm thinking at least 50 cents on the dollar for that, or less. You know what I mean? And if it was 50 plus the roughly 90 in terms of liens from the city, in terms of taxes, it's 140. The property's worth 225. So I haven't seen the inside of it. I don't know all the details of the layout in terms of the interior of the building, but according to him, he was renting it out as like a 3-bedroom or a 3-family place, or like 3 units. So according to what I find online, that is not 3-family or 3 units. So I'm not sure how it was structured, and he's not exactly sure either in terms of what it looks like on the inside. So anyways, if you guys have any insights, leave them down below. I'd love to hear, or reach out to me on Instagram. If you have any knowledge or experience with this kind of thing, I'd like to pick your brain for a second. Also, if you want to follow along with this journey, or me getting to $100 a day online, make sure you press that subscribe button. I'm just documenting my process of getting to $100 a day online, tell you exactly what I'm doing, just like I am with this video, and I'm going to walk you through this process. And I don't know, like, this is the first time I'm doing this type of deal. I've done one real estate transaction. So it'll be interesting, and I'm sure that I will learn a lot through the process, and that's why it's interesting to me. There's also a tremendous amount of opportunity to create a win-win situation, because I'm sure from his perspective, he could have felt like trapped for the last couple of years, not having anybody to help him out in terms of this, and not feeling excuse me, comfortable with this process. So I don't know. We'll see how it plays out, but stay tuned. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.